With me today, we're gonna have a good time. You've convinced me. I'm ready to switch my account. Oh my gosh. Specific answer. They're learning quick. Can we Google it? Whatever. Okay. He's a quick study.
There's so many words I want to say.
Be careful.
It is a love story.
You bet it is.
Fair.
I wasn't done.
Ask the questions that you think are silly. Thank you for joining. Bye.
I'm John Garver with Yellow Jacket Athletics, and it's time to take a lap, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. This week we're joined by two-sport athlete Allison and Alessi. You ready to go?
I am.
Let's do it. So one thing that always stood out watching you play soccer, and we'll talk about soccer a little bit later, but speed. You can fly up and down the sidelines. When did you realize, holy cow, I'm fast?
Ever since I was younger, probably. I was kind of just always that speedy kid on the field trying to get the ball and all that stuff. And then that kind of led up to doing track in high school.
Okay, and that was going to be my opening question, I guess. And I trumped it with asking when you decided you were fast. But you didn't run track the first 3 years that you were here. So what made you want to be a track and field athlete this year?
There was just a lot of personal things that came up, and I just didn't have the time and energy to do track. And then I was like, I kind of wanted to get back into it one more year because I've definitely missed the sport. So one last year I wanted to do it.
You're running some sprints, but you're doing some field events too. So what have you enjoyed the most?
Sprints, always sprints. So like 100 meter dash, 200, I've always loved the 200, and 4x1. Relays are always fun.
The 4x1 relay is kind of insane too, because it all happens so quickly, and the exchange is probably the biggest part of the whole thing. How much do you work on the exchange?
We try to work on it at least like 2 times a week at most, but yeah, it's one of the things that you need to get down for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the soccer career too, because you obviously had an opportunity to come in here and be a part of 4 really good teams and everything. So talk to me about your soccer experience.
Well, freshman year, because of COVID, that was really weird. But I've loved being here. It's been really fun, and I'm definitely going to come back for one more year and have fun.
I'm glad you brought up COVID, because I actually wanted to touch on that. You came in at a really awkward time, the fall of 2020. And okay, you're on the team, but we aren't going to be playing anybody. We're just going to kind of have scrimmages, and then in the spring we're going to ram as many games as possible into about a month. How crazy was that first year?
That was definitely crazy, especially just being in spring and having that whole thing. But even in the fall, just doing the weird practices, because you would just be practicing and doing conditioning, and then you would never play.
Right.
And then you would have to kind of like separate into groups because COVID.
Criminal justice major.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we want to do?
Good question. I don't really know yet.
And no idea whatsoever?
I could see myself going to law enforcement.
Law enforcement, so you'd rather do that side of it rather than something like an attorney?
Yeah, I don't see myself being an attorney. I like being out in the community rather than sitting at a desk.
So Officer Alessi.
Yes.
Okay. You don't strike me as a police officer, but
really?
I'll allow it.
There you go.
Hometown, Shakopee?
Yep.
How many times have you been to Valley Fair?
More than I could count.
More than you can count. And
yes.
and your favorite part of Valley Fair is?
Power Tower, the really high one that drops you down. That one's super fun.
I've never done that. You lose your stomach on it though?
A little bit, yes.
I'm John Garver, she's Allison Alessi, and that's a lap, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce.